Hello once again, welcome to Barcelona and the PokerStars European Poker Tour. It's day 3 of the EPT Barcelona 2019 main event. 191 players remain, and they're about to play another 12-hour session. We expect to end the day with around 50 players. I am James Hartigan, he is Joe Stapleton.
Hello, my Barcelona babies.
So let's look at the top 10 stacks in the room at the start of day 3. Matson headlines with close to 1.2 million. Alexis Ibarola, who'll be at our first feature table, also has a 7-figure stack. Andres Korn, a former Poker in the Ears superfan, still in the top 3. We'll be kicking off the action with the blinds at 3,000, 6,000 with a 6K big blind ante. And let's look at the full lineup on the main stage. I mentioned Ibarola, who's the big stack here. We've got Fatima Moreira de Melo, the last remaining member of Team PokerStars Pro, plus making the trip to Barcelona from the US of A, one of the Mizrachi brothers, Rob of that ilk.
As I like to call him, the good Mizrachi.
We also have Stefan Jedlicka, who won the national high roller here in Barcelona 3 years ago.
It's all in and a call.
Wow.
Play moving very fast.
Deuces against Ace-Queen. Classic race underway at the feature table, and I believe it's the Ace-Queen at risk, Boris Velev.
Like Desperate Housewives versus the Spice Girls, one of these two hands has a slight mathematical advantage.
Deuces rarely, if ever, loses.
Now hold on a second. This queen is not drawing dead.
It is now.
What?
And a flush.
Flush, no good against a full house.
Even in a run out there, he's gonna go bro.
This ain't short deck, bro.
Thank God.
Hello. What were you doing? ¿Qué estaba a fazer, pá? Dormindo.
Farewell, Boris Velev. John Hanafi, Jack 10 in the hijack. Starts the hand with just shy of 30 big blinds, opens to 13,000. And Hassan Kamal has ace-3 suited in the cutoff.
To be.
Decides to fold. Stefan Jedlicka is out. Rob Mizrachi in the small blind. We mentioned he is super short.
Yeah, Bobby.
King-Queen. Interesting. Not a shove from Mizrachi, but a re-raise to 26,000.
Huh.
Half his chips committed. And now Alan Alenka with ace-10 in the big.
Nah.
That's it.
You have a huge hand, have you?
I don't understand, but I agree with you.
What? He's speaking English.
Hanafi calls, and you got to figure that Mizrachi's reasonably committed here, just 4 bigs
It's a long way back
behind.
to the States.
Huh?
It's a long way back to the States.
No, it's not.
I disagree.
Wow. Trip jacks for Hanafi. Mizrachi ships, Hanafi snap calls, and this is not looking good for Rob Mizrachi. Just 1% equity with 2 cards to come.
Stop and go.
You played it like aces. You're trying to confuse me.
Well,
Now the stop and gone.
I didn't want you to turn a river, but you hit the flop. I'm drawing dead. Can't even hit the 10. Sick. You're gonna call me pre-flop anyways.
Probably. Unlucky.
GG.
You're good.
Mizrachi drawing dead on the turn, and a jack on the river.
Oh, man.
Hashtag death by quads.
Didn't want to
No
rub
Joe
it in.
Stapletons were harmed in the filming of that meme.
That's for sure.
But Rob Mizrachi was. Youch.
Cashes out for 11,090 euros. We're down to 175 players now.
Your middle blue one. Yes.
Jedlicka is under the gun.
Stefan raising with the jacks to 13,000. Alexis Ibarola on the button with 9-6 suited.
Are you going to New York after this for the US Open?
No, because like, well, if she makes week 2,
And Hassan
no, I can't.
Kamal
I have to do
calling out of the big blind with 9-8. 3-way to the flop.
Yeah,
Yeah. No.
Oh, it
The
always
window's too
depends.
small.
Yeah, I understand. It always depends if her tennis player gets
His tennis
through.
player. Yeah.
6
No, she
deuce
plays
deuce. So
second round
Ibarola
today.
catches a piece.
Who knows, right? But I just can't, like, when I'm back in Holland, I get back on the first, and in the evening I have to do something. Well, maybe I won't get back on the first.
Yeah.
Get back on the second. I still have to do something in the evening for like, other work. So. No chance. But I like watching it on TV. So I've been to the US Open. I like it.
I'm going actually with my girlfriend next week on,
Sick
on
brag.
the last.
So the second week.
I'm going for the semifinals on
awesome.
Friday. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you ever been before?
Not in New York. It's, I have been when I
Going
was
to
in high
the
school,
semi with his
I've
girlfriend.
never been again.
Yeah, I mean, New York, like the Players Lounge isn't very nice, but the rest, like, I think it's set up well because all the stands are pretty big. So, like, a lot of people can watch any match, which is nice. Yeah, I like the setup. It's just inconvenient to, travel from the city to the venue.
Yeah,
and
what's
back.
the easiest way? It's like just by public transport or?
What, the players?
No, for.
Oh, the easiest is if you get transferred from the tournament, which the players
Yeah,
get.
okay, yeah, for
I've
you.
never experienced.
Okay, yeah, you always
I've
been in
just
the
experienced
VIP.
traffic because, I haven't been independently going there.
Because
I
it seems like there's a lot of
couldn't tell
traffic
you.
and a lot of people.
Yeah. I don't know. My best suggestion would be Uber, but then probably
figure it
public
out.
transport. Yes.
Another clean run out for Jax, which when
You're
I
staying
say
in the city,
another,
though,
Yep.
I would think. Yeah. That's nice.
it's been a pretty pure
most of
festival
the
thus
players
far
also
for
stay in
Jax,
the
at least in
city.
our coverage.
Because it's too far.
Well, no, it's just there are not many hotels around the venue,
Okay.
so they decide to stay in the city. New York's a nice city, right? So
Yeah.
they don't want to. But they have to commute all the time. But it's worth it, I guess.
More chips for Stefan Jedlicka, second at the table with 131 big blinds now.
Always a contender, this kid.
Seventeenth hand of the day. Action starts.
Hit one pass. You have to keep your card from the square for 2 seconds, yeah?
Wait.
On that one, like this.
6
Yeah,
pass, 6
just
pass,
one side by side,
6 5 pass.
just so they can.
Is mine?
No, that
Yeah,
one, but
fine.
just like this.
Ace Jack for Alenka.
Face up.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is that clear?
6
I understand.
raise, 13,000.
Good.
7 pass.
Only if you raise, Yeah, he forgets all the time. It's
Face up.
annoying.
You can re-raise.
Aces for Hanafi. Johnny Overkill.
Hit 6 pass. Heads up.
And the 3-bet gets called. Here we go. Oh, the case ace. Johnny Overkill strikes again. Smell you later, Alan Carr.
You can bet 30,000.
I mean, Alenka isn't a risk here. Hanafi likely to get a full double up
You get
because
the idea.
he only had 30 big blinds behind. Continues for 30K.
How is your summer been?
Pretty good.
Hit 6 pot.
Played in Montreal. Didn't go to Vegas much. So.
You didn't go?
I went only for the main event.
Okay. And then no sort of no stops.
No, I was in Europe on a trip with my girlfriend, and I played the online.
Didn't make it.
I didn't make it. So
Same
it
here.
was,
Same here. I didn't make it, and I didn't want to go there. But
So we made another trip to Italy instead of going
Beautiful.
to Rosada. Yeah.
so, what was the first trip?
In Italy, I wasn't with my girlfriend.
Four diamonds,
She had to go
little
back
bit of
home,
an action
but,
killer,
we were
maybe?
In Poland and Croatia before.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
Alan Card
it's amazing. It's a really nice country.
now.
Yeah, I haven't been there in a long time. I guess I've never been. Where are you from? Austria.
Wow.
So it's close.
And
Yeah,
Alan
it's close,
Carr
but, I mean, Croatia
moves
it's a
all
pretty-
in,
We really love Croatia. Like the
shoves
small
on
islands
Hanafi. It's
like,
all into
Advar
call
and,
here.
I don't know how you can call this.
VIS.
I fold this
It's a really remote island.
100% of the time.
So far.
I just came
From there, yeah.
from Croatia.
Yeah. How did you like it?
Oh, amazing.
It's amazing. Huh?
Amazing.
Remember, those cards buy you additional thinking time. The shot clock is 30 seconds. Every card played buys you an additional 30 seconds.
Some people told us like this year wasn't that good, like in tourism.
Good hand.
Tourism wise, but like the past few years, it went up like 400–500%.
Okay.
I can't blame a guy for trying to
HVR?
Yeah, that's
HVAR.
talk some
I've heard of this.
tells
I've heard
out
it's very
of this
long and
guy.
skinny. They have music festivals there.
Yeah, it's more like
I think it's known for party, right?
yeah, like Ibiza, a little bit like that. But the other one, this is
Two time
more
bank
like a
cards in
remote,
the middle.
Really
I don't think I'm enough to
relaxing
fold.
island.
All it.
He calls.
And he is right, and he will
Wow.
double up through Alenka.
Dude, I would be so mad if I got called by aces there. Oh, it's
See how many chips in?
Sure.
And John Hanafi is now going to have a 70 big blind stack. Alan Alenka down to 50 bigs.
If I was a professional, I would have folded there. Didn't I?
If you were a golf professional, you would have.
I would have folded.
Yes.
But you look scared. You look scared.
Justify it however you want, pal.
The tell on.
Just one battle, it's not the war.
Don't tell him, just keep calling him. And you're golden.
Okay, well, let's step away from the feature table for just a moment and showcase some of the other players in the EPT Barcelona main event, some of the players at the outer tables, including Griffin Benja, former World Series finalist and Irish Open champion.
Yeah, somebody on this.
Alex Foxen.
He certainly is.
We had a brief cameo appearance from Mike Haxton at the feature table yesterday.
Action Haxton. Axon Haxton.
Gail Bauman.
Get him, Gael.
And the impossibly tall Harry Lodge. And here, Joe, is a hashtag fun fact which links Harry with our feature table. Fatima Moreira de Melo's biggest score to date was when she came second in the UK EPT event on the Isle of Man. Harry Lodge was at that final table.
Another fun fact, I am a member of the Los Angeles chapter of Harry Lodge.
Can you believe there are aces again?
Oh my goodness, what? Kamel's aces were cracked the last time he had them. Will they hold up this time?
Gut shot, the backdoor diamond draw for Billard, facing a continuation bet of 12,000. He calls. Ace of diamonds. Well, the flush draw is no good. It's a full house for Kamel. Billard is drawing dead.
He ain't getting them cracked this time. Pretty unreal the number of aces we've seen, as well as the number of times they've connected with the board.
Yeah, right. Kamal slows down and checks the turn. Tells Billard bet his draw, yes. He's reaching for chips.
Leonardo says, time to check. Perfect card to check.
Billard bets 40,000.
How much left on?
Does not leave himself much behind at all.
Is that real? He's bet half his stack here.
Yeah.
Enough to put Billard all in. He calls all in. He's drawing dead. The river card is inconsequential. We lose Francois Billard.
Good luck, guys.
They were.
Yeah.
Put the 8 of diamonds out there just for a extra needle. Well, close
Bye,
enough.
enjoy New York.
Thank you.
They were.
Bye-bye, Billard.
Cash is for 11,090 euros.
Au revoir, Francois.
148 players now remaining.
Mister.
And Hassan Kamal up to 531k, 88 big blinds.
Slightly bigger pocket pair for Alan Alencar. Pocket jacks.
17,000, 7 plus. 8 plus. 10 plus.
Queen jack for Kamal. He's in. And I imagine ace deuce of hearts will also be joining the party.
17?
Yeah.
Much like me, late and uninvited. 3 ways to the flop. Queen 9-7, top pair for Kamal. 1 heart for Jedlicka, 1 overcard for Alencar.
53 check.
And now 2 hearts for Jedlicka. Checked around on the flop. Kamal not wanting to give another free card as this board gets straightier and flushier. I do not think he will be eliminating the nut flush draw, however. Nah. Stefan calls. Pocket jacks now after a bet and a call. I feel like you can probably confidently fold pocket jacks. What do you think, Fenton?
It could be reasonable, multi-way, particularly when you have the heart. Makes it less likely that your opponents are going to be on draws, have hands like Jack 10, King Jack.
6 raise 84,000.
And I love watching Brazilians play poker.
He
I
said
really
it.
do.
He said it before. He will say it again, and I have to admit, he's got a point. This Ray is coming from out of nowhere. Last to act on the flop, doesn't bet. Decides that this raise on the turn will be credible. Gets top pair to fold.
How much? 80?
84.
Jedlicka just trying to work out if he's getting the right price to call here.
getting like, what, just under 4 to 1?
Of course, we can see that he's less than a 3 to 1 dog, so would expect him to call, particularly with more chips to play. Probably not counting in his head that his ace is likely to be a live out though. I think he only has 9 outs, but still needs just a little over 4 to 1. And with the rest of the chips to play for, maybe he stacks his opponent quite frequently on a heart.
It's a call. 250K in the middle. River card is not a heart, but it is far from a brick. Top pair for Jedlicka.
Very interesting.
And it looks like Alencar may think that he can bluff Jedlicka off a queen.
Problem with bluffing with the jacks is that you just block the hands that you want your opponent to have as the auto folds. The king jack of hearts, the jack 10 of hearts, maybe even just jack 10. You don't block any of the pairs, any of the sets, any of the 2 pairs, but he is going to pull the trigger. This is a very tough spot for Jedlicka with ace deuce of hearts.
Man, when somebody puts out a big stack like that and then immediately looks to me the way Alencar just did, that does not seem super strong to me. Looking very interested in what you do next. I think when you're strong, you seem less interested. You're less invested. You know you're going to win the pot no matter what.
Show one.
Jedlicka does lay it down.
Show him the jack of hearts.
How can I call with a flush?
I do admit, the jack of hearts would have been the one to show right there. Alencar with a bluff line that was, I guess, so fishy that it had to be real. Still lots of tables in play. This guy right here, Sergey, I can't say that. He won the super high roller here. 1.8 million euros. Alexander Iverson won the national high roller champ. And Marku Drink the Blood of the Koplima won the national main event for 585,000 euros. All right, looks like Hassan Kamel opening 17,000. There we go, pocket trays. Gotta think about what I've seen this year. Alencar, pocket aces. There have been many, many, many instances of aces at this table.
51,000.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Oh, Fatima's been so patient.
All in?
She is all in with ace king. Oof. Another case of blockers being absolute dog crap. Ouch. Fatima.
One time.
This really would be a one-time. Fatima, her best ever EPT run was in Barcelona. Handful of years back. 92% favorite here to go broke. The 10 is the only card that breathes a little bit of life still into her Barcelona main event chances. Dead on the turn.
Good luck, guys. Thank you.
Fatima Moreira de Melo. Out of here. 139th place. 12,440 euros. And this table is about to get a whole lot quieter.
One big blind, right? I know.
Always one of the most exciting players to watch, just the way she gets the table chatting, relaxed, having a good time. It's very unfortunate. But Alan
really
chips up to 715k. That is a monster stack now.
That is 89 big blinds. It is a monster stack. He is third in chips at this table. Jedlicka with 810,000 and Alexis Ibarola over 1 million chips, 126 big blinds.
We're going to be back in Barcelona next year for the PokerStars Players No Limit Hold'em Championship. PSPC 2020 will take place at Casino Barcelona from the 20th to the 24th of August. Between now and then, there's the chance to win a Platinum Pass, the dream ticket to this $25,000 tournament. If you want to win free entry to the next PSPC, head to PokerStars.
Last hand was a raise and take it for Hassan Kamal. He's going to try the same thing again, it seems.
Allô? De quoi? Non, mais je voulais vous appeler en vidéo.
Jedlicka not letting Kamal get away with it this time. He 3-bets with Queen 9 of spades.
Je voulais voir Mimi. Non, mais il y a un peu où sont longs les coups.
Looks like Kamal is not ready to give it up just yet, and I can't imagine we're going to see a flat call. We do indeed see the 4-bet up to 120.
Leveling war, leveling war.
Unless Jedlicka can pick up on something from his opponent, I think it's so unlikely that he's going to pull the trigger with this hand. But he is using another time bang, not ready to give up on it just yet. Man, if he 5-bets this all in, it's going to feel like it's 2011 all over again. I'd love to see it. Great for the game.
Just a call.
Up.
All right, bloated 4-bet pot. Two monsters. Ace deuce and Queen 9. To the flop. Ace in the window. Ace 6-6. Top pair for Kamal.
We'll either see Kamal betting pretty small, maybe about 50k, or else electing to check.
Option B. Checkity check.
I think it is going to be pretty hard for Jedlicka to end up winning this pot. And
Real
now,
hard
the
now.
impossible.
What a dream for Kamel, huh? You're like a little bit worried you might be out kicked on that flop, and then you're like, ah, ha, 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 bet.
I wonder if his best line would be to continue checking, trying to rep that he has kings, queens, possibly jacks, and for Jedlicka to start bluffing. So unlikely that Kamel is going to check this flop on ace-6-6 and then start bluffing on the turn.
Yeah, I guess you got a good point. Like, what can really call you when you bet there, huh? I mean, other than chops. Hey! Hey! Says for Enrique Rodriguez.
A lot of aces even in my level, not including the first level of today.
And we're finally getting a look at Muhammad Parati. Heard his voice?
230, 250, 30.
Don't do it, Johnny. Folds. Big blind. Jack 8 suited. Oh boy.
Oof.
Hell of a flop.
Rodriguez going to be thinking he wants to get all the chips in as quick as possible here. I think on this board with so many straight draws, a flush draw, Kamel just always wants to be check raising his hand. And Rodriguez really just never considering folding. Just got to decide whether he wants to call, and if his opponent was bluffing, pick it off on a turn, or if he wants to just get all in now and hopefully get in against a hand like King Jack, Queen Jack potentially.
7 of diamonds.
All the cards.
Yeah, on the turn.
How much?
I guess with Rodriguez having the ace of diamonds, we're still unlikely to see him ever fold in here, but that is a bad turn card. Obviously the flush draws get there, 9-10 gets there. If you check raise with 6-9 or 6-4, pretty much every semi bluff has now got there.
That is the juiciest turn card.
Pull in.
Juicier than a pair of pink sweatpants. Kamel jams this turn. I mean, if there was ever a card to get away from on the turn, it's this one.
The thing is, even when he's up against the Jack 8 of spades here, he's getting the right price to call, even though he doesn't have the best hand right now.
But the Jack 8 of spades isn't worst case scenario.
Absolutely, 100%.
This is one of the best case scenarios. I guess ultimate best case scenario is still like some sort of pure semi bluff. But this is going to be a straight or a flush a fair amount of the time.
Super tough spot for Rodriguez. I think if he didn't have the diamond, he would have easily folded at this point if he's thinking about it so long with the diamond.
The river, do you fold? Ace king, one river.
Man, oh man. You just don't get aces that often. It's so hard to get away from them. There's the call. Rodriguez is behind. 38% of the time, he is going to catch up. He can hit a diamond. He can hit a 5. He can hit a 7. He can hit an ace. 15 outs. The river is a 10. That was not one of the 15 outs. Kamel had
Easy with
his
them aces.
Yeah, easy with the aces, dealer. Kamel had his aces cracked earlier in the day. Now he does the same to our Spanish player. Eliminated. Alan Carr, ace king offsuit. Action on Kamel on the small blind with 9-8 suited. Kamel, we've seen fall victim to positive tilts more than once. After he wins a big hand, he gets a little frisky with his next hand.
Just going to call this time. Not going to get 2 out of line. I'd imagine Jedlicka going to want to complete here with the 6-2 of hearts, unless he...
666.
What was that, Fenton?
Joe, there's no way you can summon anything. You've sold your soul to the devil too many times.
What? I just, it was weird that you said that.
Oof,
Pair
that's quite a big flop.
sixes and deuces for Jedlicka. 2 diamonds for Kamel. Ace king is in the weeds. Will he continuation bet?
Kamel's certainly not going to be folding. Already called, excuse me. So yeah, Jedlicka, you would imagine with 6 deuce on this board is going to be looking to bump it up, get a lot more chips in right now. Hand very vulnerable. His opponent's unlikely to have any better 2-pair combos. Alan Carr obviously with a very easy decision, get out of the way with the ace king. I think.
I love the baby 2-pair raise. I'm a big fan of this move. Just so many bad turn cards you've got bottom 2.
Wow, this is naughty. This is a little out of line.
Alan Carr firing back with ace, king, high, no pair, no real draw. I guess they call this OOL, out of line. I'm gonna call this OOLO, out of line and optimistic.
I'm very interested to see what way Jedlicka is going to proceed. Most often, you're not going to find opponents 3-betting flops very light. And against his value range for getting it in on this board, I'm not sure how well 6 deuce is doing. But at the same time, I don't think his opponent's going to re-raise with jacks. It's very hard for him to have pocket sixes or pocket deuces. Yeah, he's just going to run it right now.
Jedlicka moves all in. Alan Carr forced to give it up. Whoops. Alan Carr drops down to 78 big blinds. Jedlicka up to 923,000. That is 114 big blinds. Now, when I say Alan Carr drops down, he's got almost 80 big blinds, and he's 4th in chips at this table. What a hand. We've got some stuff happening off this table where we are in the year 2019. We've got some online wizards still alive out there. That's Nicholas Astet, otherwise known as Lena 900 online. Got to check that dude out a little bit on the featured table last night. This is Simon Matson, huge on Twitch. C. Darwin 2. Anybody know what this guy's online handle is? Gianluca Speranza? Tankanza, back-to-back Scoop High winner.
We have got a new feature table lineup for you for the next level of the event. Griffin Benja and Timothy Adams have come to the main stage. And there's no really big stacks here. Average chips right now, 527,000. The chip leader has 682,000. The shortest stack, 244,000. That interesting noise you just heard came from the mouth of my colleague, Joe Stapleton.
Hello, my babies. I just found it interesting that there are only 2 players above average stack at this table, whereas the last table, pretty much the whole table, was well above average.
Yeah, that table was about to break, which is one of the reasons why we've switched things up. So this is level 19. Blinds are now 5,000, 10,000 with a big blind ante of 10,000. And the action starts with Juan Liu under the gun. It looks like Liu has folded. Hikusaka is also out. A raise from Mustafa Biz with Jack 8 of clubs. Round to Timothy Adams on the button. 2 of Canada's finest sat side by side here, Adams and Benja.
Given the stack sizes that we have on this table, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a lot of all-ins relatively quickly.
Well, Adams elects to flat on the button with Jack 7-5 of clubs. It's Jack 10 of hearts for Griffin in the small. And this is Steve Berda from France, who's got King 6 of clubs in the big. Getting a good price, but decides to let it go, which means we are going 3-way to the flop. And that flop is 7-5-5. Adams flops a full house.
Fortunately for him, neither of his opponents have a whole lot going on here. I wonder if he feels like with such a lock on the board. Oh, we see a continuation bet. Well, I'm very surprised to see him do anything other than call now.
Yeah, Mustafa Biz was the pre-flop aggressor, has made it 25,000. He and Griffin Benja have less than 1% equity each. Just the call from Tim Adams. Griffin Benja folds, heads up to the turn. And Biz officially drawing dead.
Not a whole lot going on for him either. No good shots, no overcards. But this man is on a mission to win this pot regardless.
Oh dear, more chips into the abyss. 133,000 in the middle. And Biz fires 75k, more than half pot. Meanwhile, we've already had an elimination this level, down to 112 players now as Tim Adams just calls and we go to the river. Queen, double paired board, Adams with a slightly different.
This actually becomes a pretty tough spot for Adams if Biz elects to bet all of the chips or even a large bet.
So Biz bets 95,000. Not a good card for Tim.
I do think against 95k we're going to see him call, but never raise.
Yeah, Tim Adams makes the call. And wins the pot. And if you're wondering why that hand didn't go to showdown, as soon as Tim Adams made the call, Biz just mucked. Well, that sees Tim Adams move up to 693,000. Playing almost 70 big blinds now. He's the table chip leader. Mustafa Biz leaves himself with 25 big blinds. Not going to play this hand. Action was folded to Miguel Lopez, and it looks like Lopez has raised.
This? Okay, excuse me.
Lopez raises to 22,000. We haven't seen his cards yet. Side by side in the box, please, sir.
Trying to hide the ladies.
Ooh, queens for Lopez, ace-king for Tim Adams. And he is going to 3-bet.
There was no stacks on this table that were anywhere near the 1 million before the break, but we could be about to see one of these players have over 1 million chips.
So
can't imagine we see anything.
Yeah, 3-bet to 68,000. And deuce is here for Steve Berda. He lets that go. Xiaowan Lu with Jack 10 suited. Run. Run for the hills.
Always painful to fold the Jack 10 suited, but wisely gets out of the way here.
What do you reckon, Finton? Lopez is the effective stack here with 50 bigs behind. Is this a flat? Is this a 4-bet? Get it in.
I think we're going to see it go in, particularly against a very aggressive player playing queens out of position. Not sure if it's strong enough for you to want to lay the trap. The question is whether he wants to go 160, 170, or if he just wants to go all in, I would imagine.
Yeah, there's the 4-bet.
176,000.
A total of 176,000.
I think cutoff versus the hijack. Obviously, when you get 4-bet in live poker, sometimes it's not the most fun feeling in the world. But I think with Ace King here, we're just going to see the all-in. We're going to see a massive flip. El Clasico.
Yeah, they get it in, and here we go. It's the sickest and classicest of all races. Ace King against Queens. Lopez, the player ahead for now with the Queens. He is the player at risk. He needs this pair to hold. And to emphasize the point you just made, Finton, whoever wins this race is going to be the dominant stack at this table. And they'll have more than 1.1 million chips. The flop is ace high, and that puts Lopez at risk. 9-1 dog with 2 cards to come. Needs a queen on the river. 2 outs. Does not hit. So Miguel Lopez is eliminated from the EPT Barcelona main event, cashing for 14,750 euros. And Tim Adams now has a stack of nearly 1.3 million, nearly 130 big blinds. I think, Finton, he's going to have roughly a 2-1 chip lead on the second biggest stack at the table.
Obviously, being such an accomplished player, that is not good news for the rest of the table. We're looking to accumulate as many chips as possible towards the end of the day.
At the same time, you're trying to do your job. Are you in a conflict?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, I'm here to talk about it.
Nikosaka with King Queen.
Whatever you need me to do, man.
Announces raise. And throws out 25,000.
How much did you start with? 400?
Was he playing pots versus the best post-flop player in the world, or was that the year before? From EPT Sachi.
Wrong year. The best post-flop player in the world made the final table in 2018. Mr. Hikusaka made a deep run in the 2019 edition of EPT Sachi.
25.
That is the quickest call with King Queen off I've ever seen to a big blind re-raise.
Well, at least he's in position as we go to the flop.
Okay.
That flop is all hearts, ace, 10, tray. So top pair for Tim Adams, the nut flush draw, and a gut shot straight draw for Hikusaka. You don't hate this board with the king queen, right, Vincent?
No, I mean, no flush draw, gut shot, can never be in the worst of shape. Your opponent's unlikely to re-raise with too many offsuit hands that don't have an ace in them.
Morning.
What?
This is the best.
Wow, slight overbet. Tim Adams checks, and Hikusaka just goes for it. 308,000, all you can eat, into a pot of
I'm not sure if
215,000.
Not sure if I'd want to call with ace-8. I mean, yes, we can see that his opponent has king-queen off with a heart, but is this going to be best case scenario? You're up against a good shot or else a pair with a heart, and then other times your opponent can just have hands like ace-queen of clubs, ace-jack of spades. I think I'd probably fold this ace-8.
A confused Timothy Adams chucks his hand away, and Hikasaka wins the pot.
Biz raising with the ace-5 of hearts, and Griffin Benger is going to see a flop if allowed with the ace-9 spades.
And Lou's going to call as well with queen-9 off. Three-way to the flop. 9-5-4, top pair for Benger, top pair for Lou, second pair for Biz.
We've seen Biz betting his jack-8 on multiple streets versus Adams earlier on, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him continue here with the ace-5 in a spot where a lot of players might elect to check. I wonder how Griff reads the situation and if he ever wants to make a raise call with the ace-9. I think most of the time you're going to be calling with the ace-9 of spades here. If he gets the sense that Biz is getting a little bit frustrated, maybe he tries to raise, get it in.
So raise to 85,000. Lou also has top pair, but folds it. So action now back on Biz. And this is kind of all in or fold territory, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty tricky spot. If he calls, the pot's going to be 250 with him having 120 behind. It does look like we're going to see at least a call here.
Shove from Biz, called by Griffin Benger. And Griffin here is a 9-1 favorite, and Biz is only drawing to one card in the deck.
5 of spades, fair? Or 9 of hearts? Oh, yeah, already there.
Couple of sweaty turns if we see a deuce or a 3 of hearts. But right now, Griffin in a very nice spot to pick up this pot.
The 5 was folded pre, so unless the 5 of spades hits the river, we are going to be at 93 players in the EPT Barcelona main event. Business hours are over. Mustafa gets mullered, and Griffin Benger chips up to over 800k, an 80 big blind stack for the Canadian.
I think he identified real nicely there that Biz was a little bit frustrated and a little bit likely to blast off by raising with the ace-9 on the flop. Works out very well, and like you said, a huge stack now.
So we're now roughly halfway through day 3 with just over 90 players remaining. At our feature table, Griffin Benger is second in chips. Timothy Adams just ahead of him with more than $1 million. Steve Berda is the table short stack. And still half the day to play. Several levels to be played at Casino Barcelona as day 3 continues.